she did.
You did?
Yeah, you did. I was waiting for the cheers in the background. All right, so is it? Where am I going to head with this? What are we going to do? Yeah, the ideas are fantastic, but it's also, I think, too, that planners do a lot of PD sessions. They go to conferences, but in many cases they'll go to only the ones that are part of their dealer group. So they get to know the same group of advisors, and often they don't see other things that are happening in the marketplace or other ideas that are working for other practices. So we can bring that to them. You know, I don't know, talk about whatever.
It's not one view either, so.
Yeah.
It's not one view.
Yeah.
We're not coming from a licensee perspective. It's not we're not looking at it from the perspective of this is the business model which works for our licensee. It's literally what kind of clients you want, what kind of service offer you're trying to deliver, what kind of experience, and also equally, if not more importantly, what kind of business do you want to run? And that for me is a really strong place to come from as an individual, because it gives me integrity. And it means that what I'm doing is entirely in the interest of the people I'm working with.
I mean, to add to that, I go into every practice hoping to learn something from them. It's not about us thinking that we know it all, because we don't. We know lots of stuff, we don't know it all. And they know lots of stuff, and they certainly don't know it all. And you know, one of the great things I like doing is coming out of a practice going, the way he does that, that's a good idea. And I might modify something I've learned from him in 3 months' time for practice X. It may not be the same way that they do it, but I'll modify it because that will work with this particular individual. So it's not just about us going in with this holier than thou attitude and we're the gurus and it's all over. We are kind of the gurus, and that's not true. But it is about us learning as well. So if we stop learning, we stop becoming good coaches.
Yeah.
So it means your brain's not atrophying, does it?
Absolutely.
You're learning and growing all the time.
Well done, Frank.
Oh, damn it. I was going to say something then and it's gone. My mind's just completely broken now.
Your mind has atrophied.
It has atrophied. It has indeed. So why is it though that most planners know that they should have a business plan, that they should have a good client value proposition, that they should have service offerings and everything, and so often they just don't? I mean, the statistics show, you know, there's only a small percentage of advisors that actually have a functioning business plan for their business. It's not that they don't know that they don't need one, it's just that they're so busy doing what they do, they don't take the 10 minutes to stop and sharpen their axe before they go back in chopping trees down. And I think that's the power of what we do as a coach, is that we force them to do that, and they love it, and they get the time to do it, but we're also realistic. We know what they can achieve whilst they still have to see their clients and actually deliver their advice. So it's not about coming up with this massive big list of action items that's never going to get completed because they've still got to run a business. It's about being able to create that balance between running the business and still doing the business, but we can help them kind of develop that.
I think one of the things we do with that process, what our process as coaches with that is, the reality is most planners' businesses have got to a certain level of success because of their natural skill sets. And their biggest advantage in that phase of their business has been their natural skill sets: energy, skill, talent, communication, relationship skills, all that sort of stuff. Well, what I tend to find is a lot of businesses, when they call us in, they've plateaued because now their biggest inhibitor is that natural skill set. You can get them to a certain point, but then it can't get them to the next level because it's got its own inhibitors now, rather than...
You've got to break your comfort zone.
You do, you know. So, the days of one-footed footballers have gone. You know, you need to be able to kick with both feet now. So you need to practice that. So one of the things I like dealing with these guys is helping them recognise the limitations of their natural skill set, and then helping them at their pace start to build around them a process that does two things. One, limits the damage their natural skill set can do to their business, but two, highlights and sort of amplifies the advantages their skill sets can bring to the table. So that you can't get rid of people's weaknesses, but you can diminish the damage they can do. So helping these guys then start to modify their skill set. I keep saying guys, I keep saying advisors, modify their skill sets to go to the next level is what it's all about. And part of our job is to try and help. Early, it's about the individual, try and recognise what are the issues that are stopping this advisor going to that point, whatever that might be, and helping them modify that skill set and get away from the natural barriers that they've got I guess, inside their heads.
But to get back to your question, Sue, on the business plan, the thing is that, as you know, in practice, I did 30 and 40-page documents, and you clearly can't read that every day, or not that you need every day, but you don't read it regularly. The one that you've put into action is so useful.
The one that we use at Elixir.
The one we use at Elixir is readable. It's all on one page. And the only way that a business plan is worthwhile is you can articulate it, but you've got to keep reminding yourself of what the goals are and what your outcomes are. And that's where that one-page document, I think, is workable because it's easily read and kept in front of people.
It's a funny story, but I actually worked with an advisor who we were doing a workshop. We were on business planning, and he actually stood up and told us that he had all of his year's objectives on a little piece of laminated paper in the shower. Every morning he'd have a shower and look at it, and everyone laughed at him because it was,
Well, you know what? I'm thinking of buying a laminator to laminate my clients' business plans so that they, not for the shower, but to have it so that it sits somewhere on their desk because it's no good sitting in a drawer or a filing cabinet. And that's where, coming back each month, we can bring them back to that, and it's going to change. It's not going to be cast in laminate or concrete, but it's certainly going to be read more readily than most people, their expectation of business plan.
So we laughed at it because it was a funny thing, but at the end of it, a year later, he actually achieved his goal. And he was ready for the next year. And it was, it's almost like just the action of looking at those and embedding them in your mind. Just made them happen.
You know, when you write your goals down, you can do three things with them: speed them up, slow them down, and modify them 0 to 100%. And just because you've written it down doesn't mean you'll end up there, but you'll learn a lot on the process.
And if you don't have something to be going towards, well, you're not going to move, are you? So you
Absolutely,
need
you've got to keep reminding yourself. And again, that's where the coaching process comes in. We're there reminding them every month. And it's not a right, here's your document, we'll be back in 6 months' time and see how you've gone, mate. But then it's all too late. It's every month to have someone sit across the table and eyeball you, ask you what you've done that you said you would do, why you haven't done it. It can be a bit challenging, both for them and for us at times.
But it works.
It does. It does. You know when it's working when they start putting the monthly meetings off a couple of weeks? Because they don't want you coming in telling them they haven't done it?
I so often, my guys laugh because we go through their action items and they go, one of them will job the other one in and say, you only did that yesterday. It's like, I don't care if it was only done the day before the meeting, it's been done. You know, if I wasn't here, it wouldn't have been done at all. So, Frank, you guys are all business coaches and you're all really good at helping people achieve what they want from their business. Do you deal with retail shops or chemists or any type of business?
The wonderful thing is, my experience is really the financial services industry. And that's what I believe we have, is that experience specifically for this industry. I just feel that I don't think I'd be as effective. I could certainly do probably the things Gary's talked about and be prescriptive in other businesses. But this one is unique in terms of the experience I've had and everyone else has had around the table. So I just think it's wonderful to stay within the industry you love and that you know.
Some really unique challenges as well, like compliance, the legislative requirements.
You used to do that again, but make the point, because we won't have my question. So there's really unique issues about financial planning businesses, and that's why we only deal with them.
Right. I think there's really unique issues specific to the financial planning industry that make it really important to know what the industry is about. Compliance is a big one, the legislative requirements around providing advice. These are things that they don't exist in other businesses. They certainly don't exist in chemists or supermarkets. So for me, I think the coaching that I do is very much tied into how can you get maximum efficiency within the framework you've been given, and that's why I specialise in financial planning.
I'm still learning about financial planning. I've got no time to learn about chemists. Busy enough as it is, thanks. There's enough stuff trying to get crammed into my head, so why would I distract myself worrying about things? Do I want to go and coach bakers in particular? As long as they make bread, it's okay.
I think there's a lot of value in the fact that we don't just coach any business. We know financial planning businesses. It's our skill set, it's our interest, it's our passion, it's our knowledge, and that's where we specialise.
You look at someone like Frank and I, you've been around probably as long as me, Frank, but I've been in the one industry for 30 years.
Nearly 40.
I'd be silly to want to go and do anything else. I'm still learning about this one.
Yeah.
It keeps changing at so many different levels.
Well, the funny thing is, one of my clients' marketing, he's hired a marketing consultant. The marketing consultant's come to me and said, look, I've got a couple of clients I'd like you to come and talk to, and they're not in the financial services, but to talk to them. And that's when I just said, no, this is really what we specialise in.
It's an interesting point though, because I work with businesses who do bring in marketing consultants. Well, we're not marketing consultants.
No.
So if some of my clients want some, let's call it a little bit flasher marketing than I'm probably capable of delivering with my limited marketing skills, given that I've seen a lot, I have no issue with my practices or people I work with getting in a marketing specialist to do documents the right way. Again, it's I think one of the good things about our process as well is we're not afraid to have other people in the room, we're not afraid to have other players in the mix, whether it's the BDM or the PDM of the practice, whether it's the BDM of the platform or the fund manager they're using, whether it's a marketing specialist, whether it's whatever it might be. I have no fear of having others involved in the journey with that planner if that's what's required, and it's outside of our zone, it's outside of our skill set.
See, I see that a good coach puts a team together, and the marketing director of the clients that I've got, or the marketing consultant, is part of our team, and we meet as a team. Not every meeting, but that's part of the process. So it's like outsourcing better skills that we don't necessarily bring to the table or can bring.
Yeah, it goes back to this comment earlier on about about having the PDM of the distribution house involved. I'm all for it. We have nothing to fear from what we do, but having other people in that room if they can bring resources and skills to the table. And no one should have any fear about it.
Yep. Do we
Are you
I've
right?
got a point I'd like to make.
Yep.
Oh, look, Eddie's excited.
Oh, he's excited.
Like a sort of a summary one.
He wants to get a word in.
He does. There's not many left, mate. He got
Do you
atrophy.
want us,